Hello everybody, Andrew Field here. Really sorry I haven't made a video in a long time. Part of the reason was because I was moving and everything like that, but I know 12 days is a long time, so I'm sorry about that. Let's start it off, shall we? Trump called CNN dumb bastards on camera for continuing to cover the pandemic, which he pointed out at one of his rallies. Says Biden would listen to the scientists, for some reason thinking that was a bad thing. Dr. Fauci was not at all surprised that that Trump contracted COVID. Trump is holding multiple unsafe rallies every day as his campaigning right now, which is typical Trump if you think about it. Biden is having safe events like drive-in rallies, online rallies, but he seems to be getting out there, which is a really good thing. Big news was that Barack Obama has been joining Joe Biden on the campaign trail, going to swing states like Pennsylvania and Florida, and delivering great speeches where he is not holding back at all on comments on Trump. And Trump called Biden the worst candidate in the history of politics, and he said, he said if he loses, he might have to leave the country, which would be an added plus, Recently, Donald Trump Jr. called U.S. COVID deaths almost nothing, the same day the virus killed 1,000 Americans. Let's see. So, we already knew he was a scumbag, but that just adds to knowing that he's a scumbag. El Paso officials encouraged voting, but implemented a curfew asking residents to stay home for 2 weeks because Texas is the worst hit state with COVID right now. Excuse me. A statistic that shows that is they had a 300% increase in hospitalizations in 3 weeks' time. On October 22nd, the world posted 478,000 cases. Yesterday, it reported, I think, over 500,000 worldwide. On October 25th, at least 5 Penn aides got coronavirus. October 27th, the U.S. passed 9 million coronavirus cases. It seemed like India was close to passing America in terms of cases, but with these latest spikes, we're, blowing our previous records out of the water. Like on the 23rd of October, we reported 83,000 cases, which was our highest number ever in a single day. October 24th, we reported the same number. And yesterday, I just learned, we reported 91,000 cases. So India was second highest, I think. India and France reported about 45,000, and they were like second highest. But America reported 91,000 cases yesterday, which is an insane number, even for us. The death toll has been over 1,000 yesterday, so that means we're probably going to see 1,000 Americans dead from COVID every day. The death toll is over 234,000 people in America now. My state of Illinois passed 400,000 total cases recently. I think they're like the 5th highest state right now. They're definitely, Illinois is definitely one of the highest states in the U.S. In terms of the highest number of cases reported yesterday from a state, Texas reported 7,100 cases, and Illinois reported 6,300. That means 6,300 cases, and that just was really remarkable to me because of how much, the governor in Illinois has been trying to mask up, stay socially distant, like being strict on it in Chicago too. And for us to report over 6,000 cases is just insane to me. But it's showing how bad coronavirus is getting right now with this second wave. The second wave that they say is coming in the winter is already started. It probably started like last week. Yeah, it started last week. Think about how crazy that is. The second wave that they were saying was coming like in the winter when you would think December, and it's come in October. So this is definitely going to be a bad winter. President Trump left hundreds of his supporters stranded in the cold in Omaha, Nebraska, 10 days after a plot to kidnap, put on trial, and kill Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a Democrat, was uncovered. The president is continuing to attack her, which is unbelievable, to say the least. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my voice right now. The president continued attacking her, and and especially since his remarks probably led to that plot coming together for him to still do that. Just especially, and Michigan is one of the battleground states, I think they're saying. So we'll see what happens with that. I think the main battleground states this time around, I would want to say Texas, but I'm not sure about Texas. But Florida, Iowa, Ohio, North Carolina, and Georgia, I think, are the main five. Florida's the main one, though. Nigerian security forces fired at protesters as a curfew was imposed. At least 24 people died, many others injured. Protests were against police brutality in Nigeria. Rihanna condemned the shootings of protesters in Nigeria. Joe Biden put out a statement urging Nigerian military to stop the violent crackdown on protesters for protesting police brutality. And the U.S. should definitely stand with the peaceful Nigerian protesters. A 7.0 magnitude earthquake, which struck the Aegean Sea off of Greece and Turkey. Multiple buildings have been destroyed, reports say, in the Turkish city of Izmir. So I hope that everybody is safe, and hopefully not too much else was damaged. Miles Taylor, the ex-chief of staff in the Department of Homeland Security, was the anonymous author of the book and essay critical of Trump. Another hurricane is coming through the United States as we speak. Hurricane Zeta recently made landfall in Louisiana as a Category 2 storm. Pope Francis made big news when he declared civil unions for same-sex couples for the first time, and a lot of the Catholic Church members were not happy about that. Trump stormed off during a 60-minute interview. It sounded like the interviewer asked a lot of hard questions that he didn't want to answer, so he made a huge deal and stormed off like a 3-year-old. Amy Coney Barrett was sworn in with Democrats boycotting the vote, and then in an official vote, the Republicans sworn her in, so that made a conservative 6-3 on the Supreme Court. Brett Favre officially supported Trump's re-election. I know he's a great football player, but he's a retard. Electoral College from the 18th, which is, I know, a while ago, seemed to be 290 to 163. I think it's similar numbers I saw today. I'm pretty sure it's similar numbers they project. That doesn't mean everything, but that's a good sign. The second and final debate between Trump and Biden happened, and the opposing microphone was muted during the first 2 minutes of a candidate speaking. Trump did better without, having many interruptions because his bar was so low after the first debate. Joe Biden did fine, I think. I don't think he did super well, but he didn't do bad. He did okay. Both of them got good hits in, and the U.S. economy grew at a record 7.4% in the third quarter, which is a sharp reversal from the historic second quarter drop that we all know about. But Biden is projected to win, even if Trump won the swing states, so it's looking to be pretty one-sided, but a lot of people are saying the race is closer than people think, so it's important to get out there and vote. Clinton was projected out by a big margin before 2016 election, and you have to remember that even if Biden won the popular vote, he could still lose. So everybody just needs to get out big numbers for the Democrats. and the final results are not going to be till November 3rd, which is 4 days from now, by the way. So everybody's got to go out there and vote in big numbers. Even if you have to wait in line a long time, it's worth it. I voted early, and I think it's better for people to vote early. The reversal is that since so many people have voted already, there may not be a long line on November 3rd, but I'm thinking there probably still will. So I think it wouldn't be good to risk it and just go beforehand. Um, this was the best thing I've seen in 2020. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had an Among Us stream, and she had a purpose to it too. She was advocating people to vote, but it was a really brilliant idea by her. Using that brain of hers to reach the young audience, because that's where so many young people go, and it was really great. And to have that message of voting in there, it was so awesome to see. The Iowa polling places are a lot of them are closing from coronavirus, I saw, and they say that it could tip the race in the swing state. So hopefully it doesn't, and hopefully there's enough polling places open where people can be safe, but still go ahead and use their democratic right to vote. For the numbers of people voting, 50 million Americans have already voted. From that was the number on October 23rd, so only a week, less than a week ago from today. But from today, more than 7 million Floridians have already voted, and more than 9 million Texans have already voted. And that number for the amount of Texans that have voted is really astounding, because that surpasses the state's total in the 2016 election. So the fact that before election day, more Texans have already voted than they did in the last election shows how many Texans care about this election. They see the voter suppression, and that's rampant in Texas. And I think people are realizing, like, we really need to vote. So that was really good to see. So the number 2 days later, from the 23rd to the 25th, was 58.7 million Americans have voted, which that number, which is low compared to what it is now, surpassed the 2016 early ballots cast. At that point, that was 9 days away from the election. Excuse me. As for yesterday's numbers, the number of votes is at 81 million before election day. So that's really amazing, and that's more than 60% of the 2016 votes that were cast in the 2016 election. I actually have a picture here of all the numbers in the states. A lot of them are definitely over a million. Washington, there's 2.7 million people that have already voted. California, there's 8.8 million people that have already voted. Colorado, over 2 million people. In my state of Illinois, 2.7 million people have already voted. Um, in, let's see, Michigan, 2.3 million people have already voted. In Ohio, which is, cast every single election, right, for the longest time, 2.4 million people have already voted. In Georgia, 3.5 million people have already voted. In New York, more than 2 million people have already voted. So the numbers are showing that Americans are coming out in big numbers, and this election could possibly be where the most Americans ever vote in an election, which would be astounding news. So I hope that is the case. So my message is to keep going out there and voting, advocating people to vote, and vote safely if you can. So the next video that might come out might be around election day. So yeah, that's my message, and I hope you guys stay safe and have a good rest of your day.